Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Wes, the Suburban Viking. Of course, we got Dave here with us, hanging out in the background, and we are Midgard Axe, the Rinaldi Carpenter's axe. An axe that I've been dropping videos on quite frequently. I think it's probably the most I've done videos on with one axe. And the reason why I did so many videos with this axe is because I think it's totally worth your time and effort in getting one of these carpenter's axes from Rinaldi, okay? But before we get into why I think it's worth getting and the pros that it comes with and some cons, but why I think this is a great throwing axe, let me show you what we can do with this thing, and let's throw it first. Then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Let's do it. So before we get into the Rinaldi Carpenter's axe, I do want to let you guys know that I've created a new channel, Project Viking. Some would say I've kicked the hornet's nest, and others would say that I pulled it out of the tree and beat it with a bat. I just dropped the very first video on that channel. So if you could, guys, go over there and check out that channel and that video, Project Viking. It's got some really good information in that video. It's also got some information that you may want to know about that could affect you and your family in the next few weeks. So go check it out. It's going to be a really fun time over there on that channel. I'm going to do some really cool stuff. We're going to get into Second Amendment stuff and my pew-pews and all kinds of stuff like that. Just everyday life stuff too, and everything about this country and what's going on in it. So go check it out if you're interested in that stuff. Project Viking, some people were having some issues trying to find it. If you go up into the search tab, before you type in Project Viking, you got to use the @ symbol. So @ Project Viking, and then you'll find me. I'll put it up on the screen now so you can see it. Consider subscribing. Consider go over there, watching that video, leaving me a like and a comment. That would really help me out. I'm trying to build that channel up because I think we can do a lot of good with that channel. So thanks for all your support, guys. So let's get into the Rinaldi Carpenter's Axe. When I first ordered the Rinaldi Carpenter's Axe, I saw the picture of it online and I saw that it had potential. It reminded me a lot of the Husqvarna Carpenter's Axe. And when I came in the mail from Amazon and it was delivered, I opened the box up and I looked at it. The first thing I thought was, man, this thing is crude looking. It is crude. I'm not gonna lie. It is a very crude looking head, okay? The handle that it comes with is complete trash. I don't know why they even put it on there. I would take that thing off and burn it or use it to beat something with. I don't know. I would get rid of that handle. It's worthless, okay? Now, let me show you guys a little bit about what I did to the Rinaldi Carpenter's Axe and how I made it look like this. Started out and, you know, I had a really good idea in mind. I wanted to put a nice beard into it. I thought it would look really nice. And I started going and making my cuts like I normally do, and I did notice, guys, that the steel on this thing is extremely soft, okay? So it took no time at all to put a beard into this thing. And as I started getting closer to the lug area, because it didn't come with lugs, I decided to put some smaller lugs in it. I thought it would work really well with the Gransforsbruk broad axe handle because of how it flares out. The lugs would go down on those flares on the handle and sit really nice. So I went ahead and put a little bit of a lug, some lugs in there, and then I went ahead and filed the pole in the back down a little bit as well. Didn't take hardly any time at all, guys. It was something I did in just a few hours, okay? And you can too. It's not difficult at all. Just make sure you don't heat your bit up too much when you're cutting. Stop, pour water on it, let it cool down. If there is any tempering on this, you don't want to ruin it, okay? Now, as far as the tempering goes on this, I will tell you this. This metal is extremely soft. However, it holds its edge very nice. For a softer steel, cheaper axe head, the edge holds well. It really does. Does it hold as well as a really nice tempered axe head? No. But I will tell you, for the price, I've seen things that get really dull really fast, and this one does not. So it holds its edge very well. I will say that. It stays very sharp, and the degree in which I put on this bit here, I had very little edge rollover, which I'm very shocked on. If you guys take a look here and see, I'll come around to the back of the camera. Look at that, guys. That is a very, very thin bit profile and very thin cheeks, which is why I normally gravitate to carpenter's axes, because that's one of the reasons. I don't know the main reason. I just love carpenter's axes for axe throwing, and that was another reason why I picked this one. So all in all, it's not bad. This one here, after all the modifications done to it, is coming in at 18 inches, okay? The bit length is 4.5 inches, and the weight on this is coming in at 1 pound and 13.6 ounces. So we are close to 2 pounds, right underneath of it, but it feels really good. Now, as far as hafting goes, I will give you guys a little bit of information and some help if you decide to do this. When you are hafting a new handle onto this Rinaldi Carpenter's Axe head, the eye up here in the axe head eye is fairly wide, so make sure you pay attention when you buy a handle for it. If you decide to go another route than I did with the Gransforsbruk broad axe handle and you get another one, make sure it is wide enough up top to accept this axe head. And real quick, actually, I didn't think about it. Let me grab my tape measure and I'm gonna measure the eye for you guys, so that way you know before you buy it what the axe head eye width is. So hang on one second. And I remember, guys, when forging axe heads, they're all different, but I'm gonna give you mine. The width of it from left to right is coming in at 7/8 of an inch, and the length from the toe to the pole, if I'm measuring it that way, is 1 7/8 inches long. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you do buy a handle, that's what you're working with here. Now, if you get something that's not as wide, you can always throw a wider wedge into it to splay it out, which is what I had to do with the Gransforsbruk broad axe handle. It wasn't wide enough. I had to throw a really thick wedge in there, but it sat and it's held. I've been throwing this thing for months, guys, and it's done a very good job staying on this handle. So all in all, it worked out really well for me. Now, as far as how this axe flies and how it throws and how it rotates and all that good jazz, it is awesome. This combination, the Gransforsbruk broad axe handle with the Rinaldi Carpenter's axe head, the way that I've designed it, throws awesome. Now, if you design something different, it could throw it off a little bit, and that is possible. Different weights will cause axe heads to fly differently in the air, which I've covered before. So you got to pay attention to that. But how I've done mine, it flies extremely well. It flies really good for a single, double, and triple rotation. And like I've said in my previous video on this thing, you don't have to throw this thing hard to get it to hit hard, okay? It's just a normal throw. Like I said, I don't have to throw it hard. I just throw it average, but it sinks in really deep and it hits hard. So that's why I really like this axe head, because it flies so well. I don't get any wobble in the air. Doing a little bit of a weight test on this thing. As you guys know, I normally like evenly distributed axes, or I like bit heavy axes that fall when I do my weight test. Check this out. It's falling backwards, okay? Now that does have a lot to do with how thick this handle is, and it's 18 inches and this head is fairly light. I'm shocked. I normally don't like throwing axes like this for a triple rotation, but this one flies really well. Kind of like the Gransforsbruk Carpenter's axe. That one's similar to this one. Does very well for a single and double, but for triple not so much. This one does very well to triple rotation. So all in all, this thing is a great flyer all around. Single, double, triple, it flies extremely well, especially for single and double rotations. Triple rotations are just as good, but if I was to get this and I was to throw it constantly and was to work with it, I'd probably stay at a single and double. I think that's where the sweet spot is with this axe. So that's the end of the Rinaldi Carpenter's axe, guys. Let me know if this is something that you'd be interested in doing. If you've done something similar, let me know. Put it in the comments section. Hey, I did that same thing with another axe, with another handle. I'm always interested to hear what you guys have done with, specific axe heads, putting them on with different handles. Let me know how well they fly for you. I'm always interested in getting new stuff and throwing it and see how well it does. But this right here, guys, not bad at all, not bad. And like I said, the Rinaldi Carpenter's axe is not expensive. I want to say it's around $40, $50, somewhere in there. But I tell you what, this thing flies better than some $150 to $200 axes that I've thrown before. Even some axes that were designed for axe throwing, this has beat those out, some. So keep that in mind. If you're thinking about doing something, you want a weekend project, or you just want something different, consider the Rinaldi Carpenter's axe, guys. I think it won't steer you wrong. If you have any questions on this thing, put it in the comments section or send me an email. I'll do my best to answer any questions you have if you plan on doing something like this. But until next time, guys, I appreciate all your support. See ya. Let's go, Dave.